What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the OGGM. It's a Monday morning. It's about 8:30 here at Site B on the 23rd day of 2023. It's National Pie Day, and not 3.14 pie, but the pie you can eat day. So treat yourself to a piece of pie today. I personally like key lime pie if anybody wants to send me some pie. Actually, I don't think you should send me pie. I'm not sure it would survive the trip. That was a dumb. Anyways, before we get into the tabletop role-playing game news of the week, let's just look at the, wait for it, bundles! Bundles, yes. All the bundles that are up this week, freebies, charities, sales, stuff like that. I have a feeling we're going to see a ton of 5e stuff for some reason. So yeah, these are all PDFs unless I mention otherwise. And as always, when downloading software or bundles or PDFs, please, I speak from personal experience, check them for viruses and malwares. And also in regard to the charity bundles, again, and I'm surprised I still haven't gotten in trouble for this, maybe just give the money directly to a charity that you support instead of buying the bundle unless it's something you really, really need. There is a really nice bundle for one of the charities this week, but it's all PDFs and like everything on there. I want that, but in hardback. We could go into my, PDF love hate. It's another thing. I'm like, I love them, but I also hate them. I don't know. Unfortunately, most of the things I'm going to say are affected by this OGL nonsense. So even though I kind of don't want this to be OGL because we're going to get enough of that later on today, kind of have to mention it that I feel sorry for each and every one of these individuals who are affected by this OGL nonsense, because it means most of these products probably are going to not be able to see the light of day. It's just a sad time. That said, let's go. First off with the freebies. All of these will be on drive-through unless I say otherwise. From mission briefs for the 2D20 Star Trek Adventures from Modifius, we have a collection of 10 adventure hooks titled Ancient Civilizations, which, not surprisingly, features 10 short adventures set in the Star Trek era where you can run into ancient remains, ruins, artifacts, maybe time travel. What was the time travel guy? Gary 13? Yeah. William Reuter has released the Dyson Sphere role-playing game this week. God, I remember Dyson Spheres. It's a 2D6 based system. The core rules for the system are sale, but there's a free kickstart for the system and a game master book for the Dyson Sphere system. And there's a adventure. So this guy has made an entire role-playing game plus quick start plus game master's book plus adventure. $10 for the game, but everything else is free. Do you know what a Dyson Sphere is? If you don't know what it is, it was a science fiction concept about basically you have a sun and you build, I think that's Dyson Sphere, yeah. And you build a structure around the sun, and then, you build civilization on the inside of the structure, the sun being the power source. And yeah, Dyson Sphere. I probably explained it really bad. Immersive Adventuring has posted something called Dark Arts of Love, a 5e compatible toolbox, which means, dude, yeah, sorry, OGL thing. 5e compatible toolbox for gothic horror romance settings and adventures. Really, I mean, you know what, Ravenloft. If you need a gothic horror romance setting for D20 fantasy, just get Ravenloft. Guy Ritchie. Wait, who? No. God, who writes these things sometimes? Dangerous Worlds has released a Lovecraftian guide where it's called Don't Let Them Take Me Alive. And if Guy Ritchie did a movie about Scooby-Doo with guns, you would have Don't Let Them Take You Alive from Dangerous Worlds. It's a pulp action modern-day Cthulhu. And if you want more Scooby-Doo, we have Nosy Kids from Raphaelina, a game about Scooby-Doo style adventuring. That's interesting because I was just watching a documentary again last night about Mystery Incorporated on Netflix, which is probably the best Scooby-Doo cartoon ever made for the modern era. Obviously, original Scooby-Doo, number one, But the 2 seasons of Mystery Incorporated on Netflix, if you can find it, oh my God, so well written. Probably one of, if not the best modern day Scooby-Doo adventures without any of this Velmus crap. Mimics and Monstrosities has released something called Creatures, the RPG. It's an RPG inspired by Gremlins. It's a rules-light systems where you play monsters doing chaos and mayhem. Zephyrus has released an adventure called Duplication for Traveler. It's a scientist, alien technology traveler type adventure. Zephyrus is the current system that Traveler is under, but they are switching over to ORC. So all future Traveler type stuff will be done using the Piezo ORC thing, which I'm sure we'll have news about. Togos Game has a system called TLN Core System. It's a GM-less RPG with an SRD licensed under the Creative Commons Contribution Share-alike 4.0 International, based upon the Brazilian RPG Tactoris Lucido Narvitas, which tells me nothing, but I think it's just a generic system. Philip Vaughn has released a guide about Dungeons and Dragons as a therapeutic and learning tool. No. Samuel Bouchard has released Lost Pages of the Map Leper's Grimoire, a collection of 27 spells for 5e. Sorry, Samuel. OGL 2.1.0 just screwed you over. Scott Bean over at Dragon Rocks Games has the White Scale, a undead dragon, available for your D&D game if you need a CR18 big bad. But unfortunately, it's for 5e, which means, sorry, Scott Bean, you're also going to be affected by OGL 1.2. Jenny Hatakio, Hietikko, has released Magical Feats for Planes of Power, a collection of 6 feats designed for use with 5e, which means, sorry, Jenny, you want to OGL. God, it hurts. It literally hurts my brain reading these and knowing all these people are going to be affected by OGL 1.2. But we're not going to get into it in this one because we could talk for hours about that in another one. Jesse Vandervost has released a 15-page one-shot adventure called Shadows in a Seaside City, which is set a first-level adventure about dealing with a seaside city, dealing with shadows. Unfortunately, it's for 5e. So again, sorry, Jess, you're affected by this. The Griffin Ferret has released a mega bundle featuring an entire collection of almost 30 source books. Okay, I don't know for what, but let's take a look. It looks like it's just we've got one called like Barbarian Path of the Fist, Barbarian Path of the Muscle. Yeah, so it's new subclasses for 5e, which means OGL 1. We have our usual selection of free maps this week. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 new maps available for free on DM's Guild under the Free Map Friday heading. And we also have a collection of new subclasses for 5e, which means, of course, OGL 1.2. Means none of these guys are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 new subclasses for 5th edition under the DM's Guild. Damian Paradiso brings us these, and Griffin Games brings us these. But of course, all of you are going to be affected by OGL 1.2, so you may not be able to release your product without signing the new thing, and I don't even know anymore. So it really, I'm sorry, dudes. I'm sorry for each and every one of you who's being affected by this. Oh God, moving on to bundles and sales. Fantasy Grounds is having a half off sale. Interesting. 50% off all Fantasy Grounds licenses. So if you want to get your hands on a VTT that still technically is supporting OGL 1.0 1 and D&D 5e before whatever else happens in the future. You can get Fantasy Grounds and all its shit for, all its stuff for 50% off. There's a Humble Winter Store sale with deep discounts on a lot of video games, including several based upon tabletop role-playing games. They did this one before. Looks like they're doing it again. We've got Cyberpunk 2077, Shadowrun Returns, Battletech Pathfinder, Dungeons & Dragons Chronicles of Mystria, Mutant Year Zero, Road to Eden, Werewolf the Apocalypse, and a lot more. So this is about 50% off all these video games. It's on Humble Bumble under the Humble Store Winter Sale. Of course, these are all video games, so before you install any of them, check them for viruses and malware, please. Tim Bannock has dropped several of his OGL products, including his astonishing superheroes system. 75% off his stuff. That is available on drive-thru. Can't imagine why this guy's dropping all his OGL products. There is a new bundle of 3D printer stuff from Fishwife Games. Great name for a company. It's got a lot of STL files, most of them terrain, but some creatures and some other things. $84 for a ton of STL files. In addition, they also have another collection of sort of system generic theme bundles of random generation tables, like for fantasy, sci-fi, and cyberpunk, all running around $50 each for more 3D printing stuff. Heroic Maps has released a collection of spaceship maps, which you can also find for free on the internet, for $20. So if you're looking for a collection of PDF maps of the interiors and exteriors of spaceships, you could try this one. Skirmish Publishing has released 10 issues of their Wisdom in the Wasteland mini supplement, which I guess is a OSR retro clone of Mutant Future, which is based upon Gamma World, but can be easily adapted to any OGL system. So if you're looking for a Gamma World type game in 2023, you can check out this one. It's only $6 for all the issues of Wisdoms in the Wasteland. We have from Dungeon Masters Guild a trio of supplements called Tinkets and Treasures for Dragonlance, Spelljammer, and Ravenloft, featuring new magic items and stuff like that. $11, all of which, of course, is again affected by OGL 1.2 point nonsense point. Oh God, I feel bad. And now the charity bundles. Bundle of Holding has a charity bundle called From Hardywook Games, all based upon Beowulf. This role-playing games bundle attempts to recreate the Beowulf mythology. It's $10 and it goes to support Direct Relief. Palagrin Press has released a 13th Age bundle containing everything that was ever made for 13th Age First Edition to prepare the way for the first 13th Age Second Edition, which is coming out, which I guess they're probably going to have to re-edit because of OGL 1.2. $25 gets you the entire bundle, and it goes to support the Diana Jones Award for Emerging Designers. Dane Coleman has released a collection of adventures for 5e to take your characters from level 1 all the way to 20. It includes adventures called Big Apples, Ebenclad, and Pages from the Lost Gamor. $8 is for this bundle. It goes to support Direct Relief. It's for 5e. So once again, this poor dude is going to be affected by OGL 1.2 point whatever. The Game Design Workshop 2300 AD bundle features all the original stuff done for the 2300 AD line, which is a line back in the 80s. 2300 AD is the parent title under which all the Judge Dredd and Rogue Trooper stuff falls under. So if you remember 80s and Judge Dredd and Rogue Trooper and a lot of like weird European stuff that came out, was it England? I want to say Judge Dredd was England, but I'm not sure. These guys made a role-playing game a long time ago based upon Judge Dredd, and then it's just kind of been bopping around out there in the infinite verse of role-playing games. Every now and then some other company picks it up and tries to relicense it, right? So I think Level Up 5e has the current licenses to it now, but I'm not sure. Anyways, this is the original 80s classic stuff for the 2300 AD / Judge Dredd stuff for $17. Goes to Direct Relief. Humble Bumble and Cold Press has put together a gigantic bundle featuring 52 titles from Castles and Crusades, Frog God games, all sorts of other stuff. This is the one I recommend for this month. It's $25, gets you 50 PDFs of various games from Frog God Games, Troll Lord Games, Kobold Press, and it goes to support the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. Yay, literacy. There is another video game bundle from Wadjet I Game Bundle, which features a huge collection of point-and-click adventures like Techno Babylon and Shardlight. $10 gets you looks like about 10, 15 games. It goes to support the JDRF. I don't know what that is. But of course, these are video games. So before you install them, please check them for viruses and malware. And as obviously when dealing with charities, if you want to support the Comic Book Defense Legal Fund or food banks or Veterans Affairs, maybe just, instead of giving $50 to Humble Bumble, give the $50 directly to the charity in question. That said, I kind of recommend the Kobold Press one, but again, $25 gets you 50 PDFs. If I'm going to spend $25, I'd rather get a hardback, but that's just me. That's it. That's it for all the bundles this week are coming to an end. I'm sure I forgot one. Troll Lords is doing tons of bundles constantly of free stuff to push Castles and Crusades into the limelight because of the whole OGL thing. And other than ORC from Paizo, Troll Lord Games is Castles and Crusades seems to be the other big game that's getting a lot of love as response to this OGL stuff. But I'm sure we will have some OGL stuff news to talk about in a few minutes. That's it for all the bundles today. If any of those sound like something you want to pick up, just go on over to DriveThruRPG or Humble Bumble and get them. And remember to tell them the OGGM sent you, at which point they'll say, we have no idea what you're talking about. Until next time, the usual, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Help me hit 1 billion subs by the end of 2023. I know I'm not going to do that, but it's good to have an impossible goal to dream from. If you want to support the OGGM adventures, there's plenty of ways to do it, but the best way to do it is to buy my merch, available exclusively on Big Geek Emporium. Link down below. Till next time, let's take a deep breath, look out the window, and enjoy the sunshine before we dive into the latest OGL 1.2 nonsense. Dear God.